Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
James, I think he's fucking brave. And I don't even know how the studios allowed it, or is there a shift in the world of dynamics? One of my worries when watching this is like, how many characters are in this movie? How the hell are you going to do this? James Gunn has the best ability to give characters the right amount of screen time, but if it's not the right amount of screen time, an impactful moment on the screen where you're like, oh my god, I love that guy, or I love that girl, that character's awesome.
I wasn't representing anybody except for me and doing good.
This is the immigrant story. He's still an outsider. He doesn't feel part of the human race. He wants to be so badly, yet he's still separated with everything that he does. And his values as well.
People were going to die.
When I talked about the emotions of this movie and how it made me feel, man, I nearly teared up a few times, sometimes of sadness, sometimes of joy, because I just couldn't stop thinking about the people in Gaza, the children of Gaza.
Superman.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to the Brothers Geekout movie reviews, and we are reviewing Superman. Before we get into it, this video is sponsored by Cherish Clicks. See the magic, be the magic. Check the description for more. Let's get into it. Superman. I'm sure everyone's done their reviews. Kibler's done a short review on the chat, on the thing, giving our thoughts. Movies causing a lot of controversy, making a lot of money. There's a lot of hype. Some people like it, some people don't. Man, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Guys, check the description because we are going to get into the controversy stuff, the geopolitical stuff. We're going to give our thoughts about it, right? If you follow the podcast, you probably know how we feel about shit in the world. And this movie touched or felt like it touched a certain subjects in the world. And we will 100% get into it. So check the description. We're going to get into that side layer because we're going in. But, Kibbs, before we get into that, we got to geek the fuck out. We got to geek out because this movie had me in smiles throughout the whole movie, man. I couldn't stop smiling. It brought a lot of joy to me while I was watching it. What's your thoughts, man? Obviously, like, guys, directed by James Gunn, right? Written by James Gunn, but also I checked on IMDb. They gave shout outs to Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. Did I say his name right?
Schuster.
Right? Legendary guys who created character back in the days. They rest in peace, but their legacy lives on through this. One of the most iconic superheroes of all time, right?
100%.
And to this day, he's causing controversy because we'll get into that in a bit. But Kibbs, overall, and spoiler alerts, guys. We're going into spoilers. If you haven't seen it by now, shit, where you been, man? And if you haven't seen it by now, you'd probably be one of the guys we're going to be talking about later on when we get into the controversial shit. But Kibbs, like, overall thoughts, like your experience with this whole movie. You had a whole DC experience in the UK, but your just experience of watching the movie. You were one of the first people to see it in the world, I think.
Crazy. Fucking
thoughts,
crazy.
Feelings, emotions.
Crazy.
Superman, what did it mean to you? Yeah.
First of all, guys, massive shout outs to all the new subscribers, and make sure you guys are following. If you like the content, make sure you follow. One of the first people in the UK to watch it. One in the world, to be honest. Like, we were the first fans. It's an overwhelming feeling, bro. Like, I sometimes still kind of have a pinch myself moment. And, you know, it's great that James answered one of my questions. It would have been nice if I asked a question, but they had a host there. They said our names and stuff like that. We'll probably, because most of us probably would stumble the question and lose, but like, you know, just lose. And lose, but
one night.
Exactly. So listen, man, like, okay, DC, Warner Brothers, shout outs to you. Listen, we don't get paid. First things first, let's make that clear. First things first, we don't get paid. I am genuinely just a fan, and I have a good relationship with DC Comics and Warner Brothers. Okay, now everybody thinks I get paid. I'm one of the, you know, I don't know, man, woke people or whatever they're calling me on the internet at the moment now. But you know what, bro? Amazing, bro. I came out really smiling, really emotional. Bro, I was teared up by the end of that movie. You know, it gave me the same feeling that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did. Like it was just such a great Spider-Man story about a kid taking the leap of faith to do something that he's not even used to, you know, to have that bravery, that courage. And I just kind of felt like it was a comic book that, you know, stepped out into reality. It was a motion comic book. And this is exactly what the feeling it gave me. So, you know, we had the Q&A. We did the fan event. First of all, we did the fan event, which they came and they showed us 30 minutes of the movie. Then we did the, you know, fly across a building, which I saw the other day. And I was like, holy shit, I actually went past those two buildings. They put us on a zip wire in Canary Wharf from Canada 1 to the bank building. And like, you look up and you're like, bloody hell, I can't believe I did that. So shout outs to Warner Brothers for hooking a brother up flying, because that was insane. What an insane moment. A moment of peace in how small things really are, but how large things can be as well. But again, the kid, pitch me moment. You know, we did the Q&A session with James and Peter. And then he goes, you know, just to say, because he goes, I recognize a lot of your faces pointing at us online, and then saying, you know, thanks for, you know, the support and love that you have for DC, but not just that, with the project, this, with Superman by itself. And, you know, you guys will be the first ones to watch this. And bro, bloody hell, insane. Anyway, that's hype, yeah? Watching the movie, yes, I was teary because I was emotional, because I'm like, you know what? They gave us a proper representation of Superman in the comic books. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to respect what we got. Like Man of Steel, I absolutely love Man of Steel. I still love that Man of Steel movie, okay? But hands down, the two separate kind of genre movies, you know what I mean? Even though it's in the superhero sphere.
Why don't you just say two universes?
Yeah, two universes. Elseworld stories.
Why don't you just say that?
Elseworld stories. Yeah. Elseworld stories, I'm going to say. But, you know, the feeling of joy, the feeling of something different, the feeling of an actual comic book movie, you know, it gave me Spider-Man 2 feels. It gave me X-Men feels, you know, during that era of movie making that came out. Great, bro. Great film. Great film. Great film. I think after the second time I watched it, I had, you know, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect movie. It has its flaws.
We will talk about critiques later. We have some thoughts too. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
It was good. It was good. I had a good fun. I had good fun, man. It's a great fun. David Corenswet is awesome as Superman. Mr. Terrific is MVP. Crypto is cool as well. I love the world building, bro. I just love the world. And you can clearly see where he got his inspiration from the comic book creators that worked on this project, or, you know, that are not here no more with us. That you could see that pouring into it. James is a fan. And if a fan is going to write and direct this, he's going to give his interpretation of the movie, which just, it works, bro. At first, I was a little bit worried, but joyous, man. Joyous. I mean, there's more to it, you know, but I had a great time. If you could give me forget everything else. It's fantasy. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Superman's been woke since the 1938s, guy. It's not that deep. It is a fun movie that I came out of thinking, you know, bro, look at how much positivity suddenly came out of that.
I had a personal experience
has done that, bro?
I look, we're gonna get into that stuff later, but I had a personal experience on this since you brought up shit. Listen, man, and we'll talk on the podcast. I went through a very serious injury recently with my neck, with nerve damage and stuff, which I'm suffering now. Anyway, when the Superman came out, it was dark time. That's when it happened, and I was like, normally I'm all over these movies. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna go. I'm feeling all messed up that day, and I was like, what am I doing? And that movie, I wanted to watch it so much. I was like, what am I doing? You know, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Listen, the injuries happen. We're going through a process of healing right now at the moment. I might need surgery, whatever. But I told myself, you know what? I'm booking Superman tickets right now. And I literally booked it on that day. I felt I was not going to watch it immediately. I was going to be like, whatever, man. I got other shit to deal with. My neck's all fucked up and I'm not having the feelings in my feet. And I was like, no, man, no, let's go watch it. And I came out of that movie. And I watched that movie with the biggest smile on my face. It made me forget the injury I had. You know what I mean? So I had a personal kind of feeling of hope and joy with this movie, and just take me away from the shit that I was going through and whatnot. So I tried to share that since you brought that up. But you know, finish off, and I'll give my thoughts as well.
No, listen, feelings, man, feelings. You know, I'm not a critic at the end of the day. I think I'm going to stick by that. I'm a fan who does constructive feedback. But I had fun with this movie, man, and it's made me feel so. It's weird, man. Like, James does something really well where he introduces new music to us as well. I knew one of the tracks that was in there, but he gave us a score which is going to be forever remembered, bro. Like, as much as he brought back a bit of John Williams, he brought what John Murphy and David Fleming brought to the soundtrack, which is insane, bro. So no, great feels, bro. That's all I can say. Great positive feels, and we're gonna get into it. But you give me your thoughts, bro. Give me your
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if I was like a music studio or whatever, producers or whatever from the old school 80s or whatnot, I'd be like, man, I need to team up with James Gunn to say, bro. And if you
Yeah.
make, man, here's a bunch of our stuff, all artists or whatnot. Listen, same, bro. Listen, I came out of that cinema smiling. I watched that whole movie smiling. Like I said, I just told you about what I was going through. It brought me so much joy. I mean, the colors and the feels and whatnot is very bright, and it's just, it's Superman. But the colors itself brought hope, right? The character represents hope, right? Like we said, I love The Man of Steel, and I'm gonna watch it. In fact, I watched The Man of Steel because I love it so much. I watched it this weekend. They're so good, right?
Yeah.
But that's another universe movie. I'll go watch that movie because it's freaking awesome, and Henry Cavill's awesome. I watched the original Superman. This is a part of that of the Superman legacy, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
loved it, and I enjoyed it. James Gunn smashed it. He has the best ability, in my opinion, that because one of my worries when watching this was like, how many characters are in this movie? How the hell are you gonna do this? James Gunn has the best ability to give characters the right amount of screen time, but if it's not the right amount of screen time, an impactful moment on the screen where you're like, oh my god, I love that guy, or I love that girl, that character's awesome. He done that with Rocket, he done it with the Guardians of the Galaxy, who had no idea what the hell they were, and now I love them. I love a freaking raccoon and a tree or whatnot. He has the best. He done that with Suicide Squad. James Gunn's just a genius at that. I don't know how he does it, but he's a genius at just making you like love characters that you're not familiar with, right? He has a great ability, and I love the way this movie started. He got into it. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
We don't need to know backstories and whatnot. If you don't know Superman's backstory, go watch one of the other movies, and God knows why you don't know it. But there you go. James smashed it with straight away getting into it and just giving us an adventure of Superman in this time period. I watched Kevin Smith talk about it, and apparently they were going to go with like a Monday to Friday type of theme or whatnot. And this is what Superman's going through this week on Monday or whatever it is, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. James smashed it with that, man. I did not think that we're going to get to critiques later, but for me personally, I did not think that there was a wasted moment in this movie, in the sense of like everything just moved forward. Every scene was just cut right and whatnot. In just moving forward, there was no need to tell too much backstories and all that sort of stuff. It just moved forward. So just came out with just joy and happiness, man. Everything was awesome. Like, again, we're going to get into some of the deeper stuff later, but that was just initial thoughts, man. Go on, Gibbs, you got something?
You keep going. Her nursery just called. Let me just find out what's happening. You keep going.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, you deal with that. So look, let's move on to, like I said, this is spoiler review and whatnot. We'll get into Easter eggs and stuff later. I wanted to quickly go through like character breakdowns and performances and whatnot, just what they meant to me, or how good they were for me and personally. David Cornswear, as Kip said, he was awesome. He was awesome as Superman. He represented a different type of Superman based on obviously this universe and whatnot. I think he done a great job. He looked the part. He looked great. I think his characteristics as Superman is different to what people's expected. It's James Gunn's vision. It's this Superman movie's perception of him. Maybe he changes, right? Remember, it started off with what was it, 3 years ago he was introduced, if I remember correctly, to the world and whatnot. This is his this is Superman right now. Maybe in the future we're gonna get a different type of movie, a different type of character. We don't know where this universe is headed, right? But at the moment, I love the characteristics that he brought to the character, obviously with James Gunn's vision. Again, he played the part, and I thought it was awesome. I didn't really have any worries about him being Superman or anything like that. I think regardless casting, they would always do a great job. We got Kibler back. So Kibler, I just gave my thoughts on David Cornswear as Superman. What was your? Because we're going through basically, I want to go through basically characters, actors, and their performance breakdowns and impact as the character. What did you actually think of Cornswear Superman? Him playing it,
bro. You know what? Listen, I was a little bit worried, because he's still got that Henry look. But when he was on the screen, I was like, we've got a different Clark Kent, we've got a different Superman, which was great to see.
They all have the Reeves look. I'm sorry, I know you said Henry
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
They all have the Reeves look. He's the face. No matter what, Reeves is the face of Superman.
Reeves
Love
is the
him to
face,
bits.
100%.
So they all have that look. Yeah, go on. So when you say when you say Henry look, I'm like, nah. It's the Reeves look, and Henry look like Reeves too, so it's that Reeves look. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. They've got that look. All of them, each and every one of them that we've had since. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Sorry, bro. Give me 1 minute. You maybe have to cut this part out. Let me just find out what's happening with the nursery.
Fine. Let's pause it. Corn Sweat, Superman, thoughts,
Bro,
his performance.
I was a bit worried at first. Yeah, and I know he's got that Reeves look. As did Henry did, as did Brendan Ruth did. They have the Reeve look. So I was a little bit, but the thing was, I was still a bit worried. You know, again, you're going to be playing this iconic big character, but you know what, bro? He smashed it. He absolutely smashed it, bro. There's a couple of moments in that movie where you're like, this guy, what you doing to me, man? Like, you know, again, you know, this is the immigrant story. He's still an outsider. He doesn't feel part of the human race. He wants to be so badly, yet he's still separated with everything that he does and his values as well. But I think David brought that very well to what Clark means to him, what Lois means to him, but what Superman means to him as well. And I think David carried that very well, man. There are moments in the movie where you're like, man, that's Superman. Like, you know, when he smiles and he's flying and they do the S on the chest, and I was like, you are fucking making me moist for no reason, man. Like, I was excited, bro. Like, it got me, bro, that first scene. So, you know, of David when he got bus up and then he goes into the Fortress of Solitude, get the sun rays, like the robots, just the way he was at the beginning, and you know, like with the mother and the mum and dad, Jarrell and Lara speaking in Kryptonian and made him soothe him, and then suddenly he just flew out, you know, and you're like, he looks the part, man. He did. He looks, bro, great. He did great. I can't say much. There's no flaws. He did great.
That's it. He's my Superman right now, guys, right now, not forever. Yeah. Christopher Reeve's always the face, guys. Henry Cavill is always the man. Brendan Ruth, definitely, I support him. He was awesome. Fuck Dean Cain. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, fuck Dean Cain. Sorry, fuck
you know,
Dean Cain.
all the other legends, and he is for me in that right now my Superman. It doesn't matter if I accept him or not, but I'm just gonna say I accept him as my Superman. He's sick. All right, let's go because there's a lot of characters to go through. Let's go through Lois Lane, Rachel Brosnahan, if I said that right, I hope. Powerful. First Lois Lane, I have to be honest with you, except the one I'm trying to say, I remember her now, I forgot. In the show.
Margaret. It's gone anyway.
No, anyway. The one in the Dean Cain show. What was that? I don't want to say that fool's name.
Oh, Terry Hatcher.
Terry Hatcher. I thought she was kind of memorable, but maybe her looks wise. But this one, anyway, from a performance, a character, Lois Lane, not a looks wise, not just looks wise, but everything was on point. I think it's one of the best Lois Lanes I've seen. Like, normally I don't really care about Lois Lane. I ain't gonna lie. I know.
Yeah, that's right.
She was impactful in the past. She was powerful. She held her own in every scene against anyone. You know what I mean? I thought she was absolutely awesome. And what I loved about Lois Lane in the movie, and I don't think she was used. I like the fact she wasn't used too much as a tool. A little bit, right? But against Superman. Because like normally Lois Lane is used against her, against Superman. I think in this movie, humanity was used against Superman.
That's right.
Not just Lois. Lois just Lois. So I love the fact that, and you know, they just started dating. They're trying to figure that shit out. She's still a reporter. I love that scene that they had, that 12-minute scene where they was interviewing, which is a very impactful scene, which set the tone, I think, of not just the movie, but these characters and their relationship and where Superman's coming from. And Lois Lane brought that out of him as an amazing reporter. She was awesome. Rachel played a great role in this, man. I thought she was very impactful. What would you think, Lois Lane?
No, exactly what you said, bro. Very impactful. Very. I just posted a clip of on TikTok regarding how what it's like for her to play that role, and and what James did as well. That she's not the damsel in distress, and this time she's going to actually help Superman as well.
Mm,
But her
yes.
journalistic views, like in this one, I feel like the journalists actually were doing their job, which was the important part, which we will touch into a little bit later. But no, she was awesome. I think she was great, bro. She stand out in this as well. Very good, very good. And their chemistry as well, you know, is very good. They just work together really well. Like on-screen chemistry is probably one of the hardest things to do. And even with that conversation, you could blatantly tell where both of them stand in the reality of being in a relationship where he's an alien being from another world. She's a journalist from Earth, and like that's a whole different level of complication there, man. So he doesn't actually abide by the rules, and she's trying to say like there's rules that you have to go through to be kind of accepted. And it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. So definitely we'll jump into that a little bit later. But she was great, bro.
Definitely awesome. All right, let's move on to Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Man, I think one of the most, in recent times, one of the most visually, what you call it, look like, I don't know the word, look-alike of Lex Luthor. But he looks so good as Lex Luthor. And man, I thought they really expressed on his like diabolical, sinister side of him, his scientist smartness of him. Like, I mean, his ability to, like, and I love the way they got into it. It wasn't like, oh, Superman just got here and I'm going to figure out the way to beat him. This took 3-4 years or whatever after Superman came, where Lex has been strategically trying to figure out a way to beat him when he does with the what's the zombie one called? The other Superman
Ultraman.
zombie. Yeah.
Ultraman.
And it really expressed again like how strategically smart Lex was when he was able to control and just studying Superman and his fighting abilities and his weaknesses to be able to control his Ultraman to beat him. I thought that's never been expressed really with Superman.
No.
So I thought
no.
that was and they really played on, again, this whole movie is about humanity, right? They really played on his back, like his envy side of humanity. Like, I'm the billionaire, I'm the human. How the hell is this guy getting all the love and all this sort of stuff? As well as like he doesn't trust him, and obviously he's got all his other political goals and everything like that. But it was his envy that hated Superman. Like, how did you hate him so badly? Oh, because you're so envious of him. You think you should be this guy and whatnot. And it just kind of forced him to be this diabolical villain and whatnot. But I love the fact that apart from just being a villain, they really expressed his intelligence and his like him being such a scientist or whatnot. So I thought Nicholas Hoult smashed it. And a very memorable Lex Luthor. I'm not gonna all love to Jesse Steinenberg or whatnot for.
Yeah.
I have to be honest, that's a very forgettable Lex Luthor to me. Very forgettable, in my opinion. This is a very, and I shouldn't compare actually. I shouldn't have brought that up. Anyway, just saying, one of the best, very memorable Lex Luthors, and I'm looking forward to see how this guy. Because remember, this is the start of the universe. These guys are coming back, so I'm looking forward to how this guy's going to come back with more in the future, not just in the Superman movies, but future movies and whatnot. He's definitely our DCU's Lex Luthor and one to remember, if I'm going to be honest with you. So smashed it.
No, definitely, bro. Excited to see where they head with him. He's fucking the epitome of hate, man. That guy, man. Hate. Just reminded me of Dave Chappelle's sketch with the player haters ball, which I absolutely love. He proper hates Superman, man. Whatever. Man, that guy got some issues, man. He was proper hate, man. And he showed that here. I think Nicholas Hoult was brilliant. I mean, fun fact, James Gunn, he was number 3 in becoming Superman, bro. He auditioned for Superman. That would have been a really unique take. But I'm glad they picked David. I think Nicholas Hoult was perfect as Lex. So,
and apparently
there are some roles
for Batman as well back in the days.
Yeah, man, he did.
James Gunn said that to you.
Robert Pattinson. Yeah. Robert Pattinson's Batman, which could have been Nicholas Hoult's Batman. So that's crazy because he was number 2 on that one, bro.
Yeah. What's the quote from Harvey Dent? Was it? You see, you're good. Oh, come on, man. The quote from Harvey Dent. You see yourself
Yeah,
become the
you do
bad
it. Yeah,
villain.
yeah. Ah,
Oh my
hold
God.
on.
Such a great quote. Have I forgot it? That's Nicholas Hope, bro, right there. You see yourself I can't believe I forgot that quote.
Well, hold on,
Such a
hold on.
great.
Harvey Dent. Harvey Dent quote. Let me get it out. We've got to say it now. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's
Ooh, that's nice.
that's
That's
Nicholas Hope
nice.
based on his
Yeah.
story. Smashed it. All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's. All right. Obviously, smashed it. We loved it. Let's move on to one of my MVPs. I have to say is Eddie Gaethje. That's his name.
Eddie
Gaethje, Mr.
Guerrero.
Terrific. Eddie
Eddie
Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Is that how
Yeah.
you say his name?
Well, that's
Okay.
how they pronounce it.
My bad. Sorry. Obviously, I can't read. Remember, guys, the Brothers Geek Out, dyslexic bros. Mr. Terrific. Character, again, this is what I love. Character I had no idea about. Character who I felt that didn't have like, he had more screen time than other characters, but every screen time he had was just impactful. Just everything from
Yeah,
what
100%.
Eddie did, like just his characteristics, his personality, the action scene he had at the end was just like a wicked sort of James Gunn style sort of action scene where he's just protecting Lois and his little technological balls does his thing. His personality was so much fun. They really expressed his intelligence, and I know Eddie was saying that he wanted people to be inspired by and be. It's cool to be intelligent, it's cool to be a geek and be super smart or whatnot, and you could be a superhero. They really expressed that in this character, and I love the way that he was just passionate about being
No,
intelligent,
that's
you
right.
know what I mean? So apparently they're possibly making a TV show of him. So I would love to see more of him for sure. Definitely one of my MVPs for the movie.
100%. 100%. I think he was absolutely great, bro. He brought so much to that role as well. And it's a character that not many people know about as well. It's like, read the comics, guys. This is for all the haters that have been calling me woke. Read some comics. Read some comics. Read some books. Watch Smallville. Watch some what do you call it? We're gonna get into that in a bit, but he's great. And I think Eddie played it so well as well. Just the swag, the jacket, and it's everything that you saw in the comic books and they brought it into reality. He's one of the smartest guys in the DC universe. He's like their Reed Richards. Yeah? Reed Richards. Reed Richards. He's like that. So it's like what you get these amazing characters on the big screen, and if it's done well, it's done well, and they picked a great actor to do it as well, because I feel like he was wasted in X-Men. He did some other films as well. It's like, you want to see some people shine, because he in the X-Men he plays a great character as well, but like finish him. He got finished so quick, bro.
He was the unkillable mutant that got killed. Yeah. But listen, yeah, no, he was awesome. And I think that's the direction of James Gunn, and where, as we discussed earlier, he's just got such a great ability to just make characters likable in a short span on screen. Look,
Exactly.
my other MVP, and I can't wait to see more of him, was Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner. That at first he looked so, I was like, this dude with his crow cut, what is that cut haircut or whatnot. I thought this was gonna be
the bow haircut.
bow haircut. And like this is gonna be like awkward and cringy looking and whatnot. And you know what? Just quickly, the movie was a bit cringe with certain dialogues and whatnot, but it was perfect. I wouldn't say it was bad.
It works. It works. Like
James Gunn
that's
stuff,
the
but
flaws of the movie that people will pick out on. But as a fantasy movie, it works. And with Guy Gardner, it works. Like
so
he was
good.
the first Green Lantern to be done. They made him look like the comic books. So guys, read some comic books. He gets taken the piss out of all other Green Lanterns when he's on a mission. You know what I mean? He's the one that everybody takes the piss out of, but he's good to the core. He still wants to help people.
Yeah,
He's
otherwise he
maybe
wouldn't have the
difficult
ring.
about it. Yeah, exactly. He has this ability to. He's actually still one of the strongest Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
So like, as much as everybody takes the piss out of him, he still was bestowed those powers, and he still does good. Great character. Nathan is brilliant as they couldn't have, I can't think of anybody else that could have played that character in the way that it was played. And yeah, definitely one of my favorites as well. He was awesome.
I've never got so much joy from a Green Lantern character. He was so much fun on screen. Every time he was my guy, every time he was on screen, I was just looking forward to seeing what he's gonna say next because he was just absolutely awesome. And when Lois Lane cussed him about his haircut, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, thank you. Someone brought it up, and when she cussed him about it, I couldn't stop laughing. That was the best.
It's not even that, but what about his
awesome.
330 women that do like the haircut? I was dying. I was like, this guy.
I want to see a profile picture of all of them because I'm assuming a lot of them are aliens, bro. Because he's a Green Lantern, so that's what I'm assuming. All right, let's brush through all the rest of the characters because we've got a lot to talk about. But real quick, Hawk, Isabel, Mercedes, Hawk Girl, she was cool, awesome. If there's one critique I would give, I thought she was like very forgettable. I didn't come out of the cinema thinking, oh my god, I want to see more of her like I did the other characters. So that's my thoughts on her.
Yep. Same here, bro. And not enough time. She was funny for the moment she was on, but that's it, really.
I don't think there was nothing crazy impactful, except
she dashed it and BB not.
Yes. That was the best. She did that, so that was satisfying in a way. Bradley Cooper's Joel. I had no idea he was in there, but Bradley Cooper's Joel, very short. Listen, very short thing. Again, a little critique for later. We'll talk about not very impactful for me personally, but he was in it. It's Bradley Cooper's Joel. Maybe we get more in the future. I spoke about this earlier when you were offline. I was saying, listen, this is David's perception of Superman now in this movie.
Yes.
It's 3 years of being Superman in the timeline. We don't know what's going to happen to Superman's personality in the next movie or in the Justice League movie or in 10 years in this time. He's going to change. At the moment, this is his personality. So again, we might get more of Joel. Bradley Cooper, but we'll talk about. Well, let's talk about it now. Actually, fuck it. No, we'll talk about it later about that. That's one of my critiques about his parents or whatnot. It was a very different take they took on his parents thing. But let's go through this and we'll get on that later. What do you think of his Joel? I mean,
again, I think that was a bit of a shock to everybody. Remember, I didn't watch no trailers. I didn't go on IMDb. I didn't want to know anything about this movie. I actually genuinely went into this first show. Shout outs to Jeremy from All on the Board. He was telling me like you kind of ruin the movie going experience because you watch these trailers now, they give away too much. But I think with what the Bradley moment did shock me. I mean, again, it's not much. I found out recently that he was supposed to play Lex Luthor, but they went with Nicholas Hoult instead. But
interesting.
This is like the beginning of the story, right? As you said before. So I'm interested to see where they head because they've given us a different message, which I think is a brave take. And it has happened in the comic book, guys. So stop moaning and crying and shit. It has happened several times in Elseworld stories in different comic books. Superman Red Sun, Ultraman Earth 3, Injustice as well. Gods Among Us comic books. So it's happened in different comic books, guys, where Jor-El's parents did send him not to save Earth, but to take over. So stop crying and shut your mouth and read a comic book. Sorry, don't mean it in that way. But also, anybody who wants...
Listen, it was a shocker to me, and I'm not going to lie, and this was part of my critique as well. I was waiting for the moment to find out, oh, Lex done something, right? He changed the message. I was waiting for that moment. No. I was like, oh, shit. But then at the end of when you come out of it, it was like, well, humanity wins. His human parents told him to go against his birth parents who were in this message, telling him to rape and make bear babies and rule, basically, right? Humanity wins. His human parents told him. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, and that's one of the core themes of the movies that we're going to get into. So okay, that was a very shocker to me too, because I've never, apart from Red Sun, but he literally landed somewhere else in Red Sun, right? And they tried to say another portion of humans are not good, so they made him do this. Okay, fuck that. This movie was about him being a human being and being able to help humans. And this goes to show, no matter what, his humanity won because he went against his birthplace. Yes. So, no, but yeah, I would like to, I mean, just
he chose them, bro. He chose them. He chose them to be his parents. They're the ones that raised him,
Exactly.
And he chose their way because it was more humane. He was raised well, bro. And, his dad says it in that scene.
No, go on.
About choices. So.
Yeah, it's like what Yandu said. He may be your daddy. No, what did he say? He may be your father, but he ain't your daddy, boy. Like it's literally that, right? I mean,
Exactly.
it's the
Exactly.
same sort of thing. And listen, I haven't read the comics of him, but of course in the multiverse, it's probably that sort of story or whatnot. But just Bradley Cooper, look, he's obviously awesome, right? I would love to see more, or maybe there's no need to put I don't know, maybe because like we're so used to getting so much of Jor-El. It's like, well, do you really need to know much about his alien presence? Well, this is about Superman.
I don't need
Maybe,
it.
maybe
I don't
not.
really need
Maybe
it. Yeah.
because
I don't
remember,
need it.
Man of Steel focused a lot on Jor-El.
Heavily
Cool,
on
I
Krypton.
loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it, but this one didn't. So cool. Let's go through some other characters real quick. We kind of brush through them with all respects. Gabriella, who was the engineer, cool, really fun character. I think she had. Again, not someone who I genuinely care if comes back or not, but just was fine. She played a big part of this some cool battles and whatnot. Wendell Pierce's Perry White. I was just waiting for she.
No, that's not him, bro. That's a different actor.
Oh shit! Any racism right here, bro? My bad. My bad. Oh shit! It's not him, innit? It's not. Holy shit! Oh my god! I'm gonna get destroyed now, guys. My bad. It's not him. Where this guy? Where have I seen him from? Then, man? Where have I seen him?
He's been loads of TV
Bare
shows.
things, yeah.
He's been in lots of stuff. So, but
Oh
he's good.
shit!
Again, not much of him. I want more.
I
Only
want
towards
more,
the
yeah.
end we got a little bit more of him, but I want more of Perry White, definitely. Stop
I'm gonna
calling
get
me
destroyed.
Chief. I love that.
Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, I like his persona of like just having the cigar. He just looked like an editor like of that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I won the shots here and whatnot, but he just had his big cigar. Just we didn't see much of his impact of dictating stories and whatnot. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like and kind of controlling Lois and all that sort of stuff. Like just from that aspect, but he looked the part. All right, let's move on. I'm gonna get destroyed. Let's move on swiftly. After my little everyone looks like look-alike remark. My bad. Skylar Gisondo, Jimmy Olsen. He was cool. He looked like he was impactful. Again, another Jimmy, the only Jimmy Olsen I would have to say that I kind of remember. He was actually very impactful in this movie. And he was the what do you call it? The girls were after him, right?
This is a different twist on Jimmy, bro. He's the geek that everybody wants. He's got the backup. He's got the ladies. He's got the deep down on everybody. Good on him, man. I'm glad that we got a different take on Jimmy as well. It was good. It was good. He was funny. He was like the most of the comedic relief was him because of the relationship he has with Taskmaster. It's Eve, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think James again he does this great thing where he's like, "Well, Jimmy Olsen's a big part of Superman. He's always there. I need to make it more memorable rather than just random Jimmy Olsen." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was cool. My guy Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Senior. He was cool. Frank Grillo's so awesome. I just saw an interview with Frank Grillo with Matt Serra. Matt Serra is an ex-UFC champion. He's got a podcast called Geeking Out with Matt Serra. Anyway, he had Frank Grillo on and he was talking about this. But Frank Grillo, I don't know if he's allowed to say this, but he said, bro, that there's most probably going to be a Peacemaker season 3. He kind of gave the premise of what his relation. We know what happened with Peacemaker and Suicide Squad and what Peacemaker done to his son and whatnot. So he kind of gave that away of how he's involved and whatnot. But then he's like, I shouldn't even said this to you, but Frank Grillo said it out there. He was like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna get Peacemaker 3," which already sets up, all right, Anyway, it's not a big spoiler, but he went out in it anyway. But he was cool. Frank Grillo looked the part. He's we saw the first characteristics of him in Monster. The Monster one was called
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos. He was awesome in that. He was really good in this. We're gonna see more of him in Peacemaker 2. I like Frank Grillo. I think he's an awesome actor, and I think
he's wicked. Yeah, I think he's a good actor as well, definitely, without a doubt.
Okay, Neva Hollowell and Taylor Vince as Ma and Pa Kent. Now, listen, man, Ma and Pa Kent. I I think these guys were great. Like I think James done a great thing where because I'm not from US. I've never been Kansas, but I've always assumed Kansas has that kind of accent. It's the first time I've heard his parents with that sort of southern accent.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And it kind of threw me off a little bit, but I'm like, hold on, is that how they speak in Kansas? Maybe they do. But anyway, I thought they were. Listen, again, I don't think they had the biggest impact as you normally do see from the parents in the Superman movies. However, again, James is just a genius, man. Like I feel like the screen time that they had were memorable. I think the accent kind of like made me remember them. The little scene that Pa Kent had with Superman was very impactful in regards to choices and stuff like that. But just bringing him back to the when he was all fucked up and whatnot, Lois, bringing him back there in that house, just see it already kind of showed you the upbringing he kind of had. But that last scene, that last end scene when he was just laying there, he goes, "I want to see the video of my parents," and it wasn't his birth parents, it was them. I was like, you're so great. Now you just made his human parents so much more memorable and impactful in this movie. Because at first I was like, cool, Superman's a human. They're expressing his human abilities. He obviously got that from his parents growing up. I just don't think they showed it in the movie until that last scene. And I'm like, James is so fucking good. In my opinion, I was going to say they weren't that impactful as parents until I saw that last scene. I'm like, oh, you didn't have to give us a whole backlog of story of how impactful they were as human parents to make him the human being that he is. I'm like, you're so fucking good. So that was my thoughts on the Kents.
Now, same, man, same. You know, you give that one impactful scene, and that was that last scene. That showed his humanity. That showed where he was getting his love from. What made him feel calm and what made him feel the person that he is today. Is the person that's going to be right in front of them, which was his mum and dad, which is going to be Pa Kent and Mark Kent, which was, you know, yeah, no, he's smart with the way he does things, bro. You know, what he did with Yondu, who didn't get emotional with that? You know, that was brilliant, bro. That's brilliant, and he did the same thing, and people are comparing it, yeah, because people are gonna love to compare. But he's good with having those one-word messages and one-vision messages, and he did that with that scene. How do you finish up a movie with such a happy ending, bro?
Oh man, smiles.
Such a happy ending, bro. I still got goosebumps now talking about it, like, and I remember the symbol coming up, and you know it said Superman, and I was like emotional, and I was like, "What am I crying for, man?" That was beautiful ending. Such a beautiful ending. He gave me some movies don't give you that conclusion that, you know, Inception 15 years later, come on, bro, what is it, dream or not? Like, you know, there's some movies that give you some bad endings, some movies give you some good endings, but this was a really pleasing ending where I was like, shit, man, how you make me feel so happy in that moment. You know, you made me feel he made me feel what Superman felt in that moment. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great.
And it's again, I give James so much credit, like as one. I feel it's one of the greats. I tell you, and the reason being because not only do you give that happy ending, you finished off with like with the Kent's story. Like you didn't have to give a backstory to kind of like, oh, this is his parents, this is where he got humanity from, blah blah. It's like you finished it off with that. Like, oh man, I get it, man. That was so emotional. That was so awesome. I'm like, man, you smashed it. How do you give us the ending, the final scene, which also just finishes off, you know, the character arc of his human parents, which we'll probably see a lot more in the future. But it was just brilliant from Gunn. I'm such a Gunn fanboy now, man, because I'm just like, man, how did he's just got this amazing vision and storytelling and whatnot. And again, 100%, we'll go into 100%. Critiques later on, like, because I got some thoughts and whatnot. And again, when we talk about critiques, I'm talking about just how I felt. It don't mean shit for whatnot, because James is a master and making a movie is a whole different ball game. I don't know shit about it, but just my own general thoughts of like, oh, this was missing, that was missing, which we kind of touched on, but I want to get into them later. And we'll get into
100%.
All right, let's move on to the most controversial part, man. And this is where I want to have the most biggest discussion with you. And I didn't want to start with this because we're going to get into it, right? So that's why I wanted to start off with like what we liked and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted to kind of dedicate this part to all the controversy stuff that's been going out there, the geopolitical stuff, the woke stuff, all that sort of shit, right? The Palestine stuff. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm gonna start off with this. James, I think he's fucking brave. And I don't even know how the studios allowed it, or is there a shift in the world of dynamics? Because James put it out there. He doesn't even speak. I love the fact that he doesn't even speak on on political sort of stuff. I don't know. Maybe one day he will. Certain podcasts, maybe. But man, this movie, whether he meant it or not, people came out of it feeling the way they did based on the recent geopolitical situation, especially in Gaza. So James is brave. I love him to bits for it, whether he meant it or not. Maybe that was his way of speaking out, using his platform. I don't know how the studios allowed it, but I give James all the credit in the world. I love him to bits for it. There was a podcast, I have to just say, I just saw Geeko Still. He interviewed like one of the village leaders. And that village leader was saying that, you know, he loves James because he's an Afghan actor. He's always been portrayed as a terrorist. And we've seen these in movies from the 80s to now. Every time there's an Arab, they're terrorists. Every time. But this is the first time this actor's been put there as a village leader, as one of the heroes, as part of the oppressed group and whatnot. And we've seen it. The brown Muslims are always a terrorist. This was the complete opposite. This basically to us, and a lot of people in the world, including you Zionists, represented what's happening in Gaza right now, right? So I'm just going to say this straight. If you're a Zionist, right, and you came out that movie which you hated because the Zionists are trying to boycott it and whatnot, they say, oh, it's anti-Israel. If you literally saw yourself as the bad guy in this, then there's something wrong with you because you're the fucking bad guy. You know you're the bad guy. And that's what's happening in the real world. If you've actually identified with like, I don't like it because he identified as us as the bad guy, then you know you're fucked up. Like, you know you're the bad guy. And listen, man, when I talked about the emotions of this movie and how it made me feel, man, I nearly teared up a few times, sometimes of sadness, sometimes of joy, because I just couldn't stop thinking about the people in Gaza, the children of Gaza. But man, how else are you, like, however you take it, like, it was literally an oppressive force. Like the story was, right, this this oppressive force with a high-tech military funded by Lex Luthor, the US, and everything like that, are planning to invade and slaughter the innocent village people who are happen to be the brown Muslim lookalike, or Arab lookalike, should I say. And they're standing at the front line with rocks, and there's children there and all that sort of stuff. That's literally how it's portrayed. That's literally how it is in Gaza. You know what I mean? So whatever message that was put out there, that's how everyone's seeing it. Everyone, be it your pro-Palestine, be it your Zionist, you're seeing it that way. And I feel like that's what he put out there, and that's what's happening in the world right now. And that was portrayed in Superman, and it was just like I mean, I was feeling in tears sometimes because I'm thinking about, man, this is what the people in Gaza like were going through. And when that kid was hugging the flag at the end and he was like Superman, that's what nearly got me almost in tears, because those children in Gaza, man, that's what they want. That's who they need, man. They need a Superman, someone who will protect them from this oppressive force. And that's the one part I nearly burst out in tears. But then the one part I had so much joy in me. There was two parts actually that had too much joy in me. And this is where Hawk Girl, where I was previously saying that didn't get the much shine. This is where for me she personally got the best shine, because she killed that fool who was supposed to represent Yahoo, or I think, right? That fucking Yahoo, right? So when she killed him, I'm like fucking joyous. And also when Green Lantern came, when the Green Lantern came at the end, I was like, that is the best way. The way he destroyed that army, it wasn't just like beating them up and smashing them. It was middle fingers to them. And that brought me so much joy. And I mean, like, that's what the IOF needs, that Israeli occupation force. They need to be smashed with middle fingers. And the way that was done, again, like James, I don't know what was going through his head, but he was like, yeah, if there's any way to smash an occupational force, bunch of murderers who murdered children, and in the movie he was just about to murder children, it's like smashing them and just giving them constantly the middle fingers by doing it. Guy Gardner was my fan favorite based on that scene. I was like, you smashed it with that. If there's any way to smash murderous Zionist or in this movie an oppressive force, that's the best way. The middle fingers. It was fantastic, that part. But the geopolitical part, and I'll hand it over to you after this, bro. I've seen loads of people, like I said, loads of Zionists. We spoke about that fucking fool Shapiro and whatnot, coming out saying, I don't like, listen, you don't like it because you've been identified as the bad guy. You see yourself as the bad guy in that. If you didn't, you wouldn't be talking about it. You are the bad guy, right? I've seen that fool Dean Kay. Fuck him, fake ass Superman talking. Do you know what? He was on a podcast with a debate with Piers Morgan. Do you know how they tried to, these Zionists had to, they were like, no, it's not really Israel Palestine. It's more like brown Ukrainians. Like they literally try and change. I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Like you're that desperate to kind of shift it away from what Israel is doing. You want to be like, it's more like Russians and brown Ukrainians. Dean Cain.
Brown Ukrainians.
Yeah, that's how they tried to kind of pull it. It's like that. It's like, you guys are fucking, like, fuck it. Like, that's how pathetic you are. You're a bunch of child murderers, and you're upset. You're upset that not only is this movie portrayed that way, but you're actually upset that Superman, the world's first superhero, the writers created him to fight oppression, to fight oppressive armies and murderers and save people around the world, not just in America, not just white people. He's a human being. He ended up being a human being wanting to save human beings. And you're upset at the fact that he went and saved brown human beings who are being oppressed. You went and saved brown children. Like Superman's wanted to save brown children, and you guys are against it. You're unhappy that James Gunn put that in that movie and portrayed Superman in this way. Fucking pathetic by that. But I love James for doing that. Straight up, that's what I felt. If I ever met James, for example, if I'd done an interview with James, I wouldn't have asked him these questions. But at the end, when the cameras are off, I'm like, listen, I don't know what your agenda was, but I know how I felt. So thank you very much. I know how I felt, and I know how a lot of other people felt. You don't have to answer because I don't want to put you in that spot, but thank you. That's all I would say to him.
I think sometimes that's good, though, that he could do that. Some creatives can do that, do things without having any agenda or just putting the message out there. So, good on James for doing that, because I know a lot of us felt like that. A lot of us felt like that. With the first conversation with Lois and Clark anyway. Like, he showed there, like, I was just trying to save people, man. Fuck all of these legal, restrictions, because nothing's happening. Nothing. Exactly. Our reality now with power, people, government, all that shit, 2.5 years, bro. Nothing is happening. Like, I'm fed up of it right now. People are calling out politicians and stuff. It's become a comedy show at the moment now. Yet people are starving, dying, and nothing is being done about it. Nothing. Like, I've fully taken on the fact that the reality we're in right now, you might as well just call that place Hiroshima and nuke it, man. Nuke it. Like, if they were willing to do that, why didn't they do this?
So what do you mean? Nuke it. I mean, listen, it goes back to, like, even going back to Captain America. And this is the whole thing about, like, why is Superman being political? Which superhero movie is not political? Look at Winter Soldier. How political was that? The freaking US government got taken over by a secret force. Who the hell is that secret force? Like, whatever. Exactly. Also, like, it goes back to, like, even Captain America, Civil War. Like, that's what I'm saying about people like Captain America and Superman or whatnot. They're human principles. Cap was saying, I'm not going to sign this doc that's going to allow the government to tell me where to go. Where people need help, I'm going to go. Because the government, you know what I mean? And Superman's the same. And Superman's the most powerful superhero in the world ever. And he's going to use his ability, to be controlled by the government to say, oh, no, you're not allowed to go there because they have a right to defend themselves. And Hamas is using them as human shield. So, you know what, Superman, you sit this one out. It's like, fuck that. Even Superman Clark says that. Like, he mentions that, okay, there's some bad apples there too. But people are going to die. Like, I'm gonna help the people, that innocent people are gonna die. You know what I mean? He's not gonna sit back and be like, yeah, they're using them as human shield, so I figured I'll just sit this one out. Just shut the fuck up, man. Like, Superman is what he is, man. He's a superhero. He's a superhero who's gonna help everyone. People are just these people are just upset that he saved in this movie. He saved brown people. He saved oppressed people. I'm like, you're. That's how pathetic you.
That's
people
why
are.
they
That's
call it
how
woke, bro. That's why they call it woke.
How come is that?
That character's
How?
been woke from back in the day, bro. You know what I mean? Two Jewish immigrants created this because of being oppressed, yeah?
Exactly.
And now and some people I don't think they've read comics, bro. The abuse. Anyway, to you guys online, it's not that deep. It's still fantasy, even though it's like mirrored off reality. It's still fantasy. It's a fantasy character. He was created by two Jewish guys after the Second World War. Like, where the fuck? Where's your head at, guys? Are you even Superman fans? Because he's a white American that did everything truth, justice in the American way. Maybe in the comic books back then, yeah. But Superman doesn't represent that. Superman never.
Let me tell you, Let me listen. I'm not American, and I know obviously we know a lot of Americans and whatnot. Truth, justice, in the American way. Listen, as the average American, and the Americans have shown, the average American, they don't like babies being killed. The average American doesn't like innocent people being killed. That's why they're out there, Jewish, Muslim, black, white, whatever. They're all out there. The average American who follows the truth, justice, and American way don't like innocent people being killed. So you know what? If Superman is following the American way, then it's what is represented on screen. He doesn't like innocent people being killed, and he has the ability to go help people, and that's exactly what the American people are showing now. So all you people who don't like the fact that he's saving brown people and saving other people in the world, you're not following truth, justice, and American way. That's what I think, because the average American person don't want innocent people to die. So I don't think it's got anything to do. Truth, justice, and the American way doesn't mean, you only save white people and Americans and forget about brown people, and it's okay to kill children. I'm not American, but I could be confidently sitting there saying the average American don't like that. That's a fact, and that's the American way. It's the Zionist way that you're upset. The Zionist way is kill innocent people, is kill innocent children, is kill innocent innocent people, that whatever. That's the Zionist way, and they're upset that Superman's not Zionist. Let me say, the two Jewish immigrants who created Superman, I tell you something, they definitely wouldn't be Zionists. I tell you something, I don't know, I know they passed away. 100% they wouldn't be Zionist. They would be true.
I doubt it, bro.
To their Jewish values.
Doubt that very much. I mean, they're talking about saving people, man. They create this character to save young minds, to be creative, to put yourself out there. I mean, even though they got bumped by the corporation, I mean, what can I say? These guys were battling for ages. I mean, I know their family members are getting the residuals now, but they sold that character to DC Action Comics for $100, guys. Can you believe that?
Wow. But back then anyway. $100, what was the equivalent to? I wonder what that would have been like. But still, it's still whatever the equivalent was. Unless it was billions, I don't think it's a.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway,
listen, that's a deeper conversation. The guy's an immigrant. He's always been woke. Now, woke is used too freely at the moment now.
Oh yeah.
Second to none to say, Dean Cain, you have just erased your career, dude. You have erased anybody coming to. You probably have the one or two, fans still following you and the rest of it. But for me, like, I knew you was a douche from before, but you've just confirmed how much of a douche you are now. Like, I don't even want to use the words.
She's got no legacy.
You've just ruined whatever legacy you had left with that TV show. Plus, you lose, bro. You lose.
He's just trying to keep himself relevant. I'm like I said, bro. I don't give a fuck. In the last couple of years, my perspective on the people in the world has changed. So I don't give. Normally, I wouldn't say this shit, but when you're a Zionist and you support the killing of innocent people and children, I don't give a fuck. I'll just say fuck them. I don't want to watch their movies. Your legacy's dead. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck DK. If I was to go to a Comic-Con and he was there, I'd be like, eat shit, man. I'm not. And your whole booth is free, and I could get a picture with him or signs like. Fuck him. He ain't no Superman to me. And that goes with a lot of things, but I'll just...
it's a lot.
Yeah, but...
Ben Shapiro, same.
Oh, fuck him. He's not in anyway. I would love to be locked in a cage with that fool, man. He won't be able to do shit. The whole woke thing, again, that's just been thrown out there. What, Superman's woke because... See, this is what I'm trying to say. They just throw it out there. In this case, Superman's woke because he saves brown oppress people. In another case, like, oh, that program's too woke because it's full of black and Hispanics and brown people. But in this case, it's like, oh no, he's woke because he saves brown people and brown children. It's like they're just throwing that word out there. The right just does that. Bill Burr. So basically, that Shapiro dickhead called Bill Burr woke because Bill Burr was cussing CEOs and whatnot. I can't remember the bit, but Bill Burr just smashed the shit out of him. Like, Bill Burr's a comedian, he just smashed the shit out of him. But you just use that, you know what they're doing? Again, they're just trying to weaponize that word woke to be like, oh, if you're called woke, that means, you know, you're bad and you're whatever against, like, it don't mean shit. Listen, man, if you think Superman's woke because he likes to save children, then something's wrong with you, man. Something's fucking wrong with you. And if you're just trying to throw that word out there to make you feel like something bad, it's like something's wrong with you, man. That you don't like Superman saving children, like innocent children. You're fucking something wrong with you. So it don't make no sense about Superman's woke or the movie's woke or you're woke because you like the movie. You're a fucking idiot. Or you don't have to like the movie. Don't get me wrong. You could say the movie's not for me. I didn't like it. It was boring. Like, Ash gave his honest opinion. He's like, listen, like, it was cool. It was fun. But I personally enjoyed Man of Steel more. But he wasn't like, it was woke. I didn't like it because it was woke. It's like, yeah, you're allowed to not like the movie. But if you're coming out there saying, I don't like it because he was woke, because he saves children, he saves brown people, the Israel part, that means he saved the squirrel. That means something's wrong with you when you don't like a superhero saving people that doesn't look like you, or that it doesn't, you know, they're not white or whatever. Then something's fucking wrong with you, and don't go watch superhero movies because that's what superheroes do. Be it they're black, white, yellow, brown, Somalian, whatever it is. They're superheroes, man. They're gonna save anyone and everyone.
Exactly.
So if you can't accept that, then don't go watch a superhero movie. Go watch a fucking Zionist movie. There you go. Go watch a Zionist movie, and then you get what you want, which is, you know, killing innocent children and stuff like that. And then you'll be happy with the movie you watch. Don't watch a superhero movie because they're gonna save everyone. Like, don't make no fucking sense.
No, exactly. Now, there's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it, and people are crying about it. But to be honest, it's doing great in the box office. Everybody's trying to say it's not doing good at the box office. Maybe domestically, ain't, but not international. Domestically, it's doing fine. I know internationally, it's having some issues. But to be honest, like, it's a good fun movie.
Hell yeah. I feel like I wish domestically, like, internationally internationally means outside of the US, just FYI, right? Yeah. I wish it done better, and I think people should also especially the pro-Palestine people, pro-human people should be like, watch it, right? And then, like, you know what I mean? I kind of promote it.
I know, but there's too many mixed messages coming out. You know, it's like there's another plot to this as well. It's like, use people's emotions against them, and it's weird that I'm seeing it that way as well. It's only because I'm losing a little bit of faith in the system at the moment now. And it's toying with people's feelings as well. It is another one where, like, they know it's going on. This is going to be quite big, and it can bring other people in to talk about it, to make it look like it's that, but it's not really. Because that money just rotates back to fuckers back over there.
Well, I mean, when you look at the money, like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I don't know, again, like the messaging, you know what I mean? Like the messaging behind it, it's just a bit of awareness, possibly, you know,
no, it is,
awareness.
It is.
But again, it's a superhero movie. End of the day, look, it's a superhero movie. When you're gonna have people like Superman, Captain America, it's always going to be geopolitical. You can't get away from that. So don't be upset when it's against the politics that you don't like. But you know, the immigrant story, you know, I know you touched on that a little bit, but again, an immigrant story, I mean, again, what's happening in the States and all that sort of stuff with the immigration and stuff, Superman is an immigrant to the world. You know what I mean? Not just an immigrant in the US and Kansas. He's an immigrant to the world. Yes, he landed in Kansas and he learned his human values from Americans. He learned to save human beings, if you want to put it that way, from Americans in Kansas, right? So again, going back to that truth, justice, and American way, that's what his American parents taught him. But he's an immigrant at the end of the day, man. You know what I mean? And he's literally an illegal alien that's come in, and not only does he want to support, forget America, he wants to support the world. You know what I mean? And again, in this story specifically, we spoke about it, right? Which kind of threw me off a little bit, was his birth parents told him to come in there and fuck shit up. But you know what? His human American parents taught him not like to be a good human being. And he went against his birth parents. And as an immigrant, he came in and he contributed towards the earth. Like he's contributing towards earth and helping or whatnot. Going against his birth parents or things. So it's like, again, like you can't judge an immigrant coming in. Say for immigrants coming in, listen, that if there's bad guys everywhere, immigrant or not, whatnot. But if immigrants are coming into the country, man, if they're coming from war-torn places, if again from the West, you've blown up their country and whatnot, so they come into your country because you've blown them up, right? But if they come into your country because you've blown up their country or whatnot, or they're coming into your country for a better life or whatnot, man, if they're upholding the law, which everyone should do, then there's no reason why you shouldn't give them the due process. You know what I mean? And give them a chance. And if they're contributing towards your community and all that sort of stuff, then there's no reason why you can't give them the due process. Now, I'm not saying, and again, not every immigrant around the world, listen, man, there's billions of people around the world, not all billions trying to come into the West and the US. There's a lot, yes. But again, man, like if they come in and they're upholding the law, you're gonna give them a chance. And they're contributing towards society. But of course, if they break the law just like anyone else should do, they should face consequences. Listen, I live in the UAE. If you break the law here, they kick you out of the country. It doesn't matter where you're from in the world. They kick you out. But if you uphold the law and you contribute towards the government here, then the country here, then you stay. You know what I'm trying to say? But I believe that should go for anyone, really, honestly, around the world.
But people don't have that respect. That's the problem. And they're not raised with that respect as well. The problem is that colonizer mindset is horrible, bro. That supreme race bullshit, all of that. It's horrible, but we live in it. And like now it's confirmed even more how bad it is. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it's just horrible at the moment now, man. Yeah. It's just control, bro. And they've had it for far too long. And the problem is the truth is coming out now. People don't know how to react to it. And that's why everything's woke or whatever, bro. The problem is, I think people have just kind of, as much as this has its political things to it, it's still a superhero movie, and all movies are going to have superhero stories are going to be always going to be political because it's happening in a fantasy world, but it's mirrored off what's happening in reality as well, which Superman and Captain America and all those characters meant at the time. For people, for young kids reading it. What they didn't think was that, you know what, hold up. This has got picked up in other countries and other ethnic minorities are reading this and they're finding similarities in the characters. So, like, you know, it grows bigger and further. But I don't see Superman as a white man. I just see him as a Superman. I see him as a good man, a guy who makes choices. That's going to make mistakes along the way. But, you know, he's trying to do and be the best he can. I think this movie actually clearly shows that, even with all the badness that happened to him in that and what he witnessed, that even though he's the main like hero of the story, he made the falafel guy, Marley,
yes,
the main headline news. That got me.
He was MVP as well, man. Another MVP of the movie, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I'm honored that you had my food. Don't worry, I ain't got no family. Don't tell him nothing. And then get shot. And at the end, that they honor him by having him as the hero of the story. You're like, bloody hell, man, this is crazy. So
that was again.
A lot of people didn't like that either, I suppose.
I would listen. Going back to the story and how diabolical Lex Luthor was, that was the most diabolical shit I've seen Lex Luthor do. Like literally point blank, shoot the guy in the head. Oh my god! And it just. That man, Lex was fucking awesome in this movie. I'm not like, you know, I'm trying to say he really made you.
Was good. Yeah,
he was so good, and the way Superman reacted, it just goes to show how human he was, man. It doesn't matter. There was just one human being that got killed in front of him, and he took responsibility of it because it's because of him that Lex done it. You know what I mean? Like again, he's such a human, like from that perspective, and it was just like, you know, like you can't get away with, again, don't watch these movies. Listen, if you're a Zionist, don't watch these movies. That's
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Because you're gonna be upset that he saves everyone. You're gonna be very upset he's gonna save anyone and everyone. I mean, even that monster, that the lizard monster, the big one, that he wanted to put him in a zoo. I think that's referenced in
Yeah, I
the
love
comics.
that.
I
I love
believe
that.
there's
It was like an intergalactic zoo. Yeah.
yeah, I believe that's in the like, I mean, that's the type of human being he is. He wants to save anyone and everyone. He's not just saving human beings. He wants to save animals and trees and whatever it is. Like he's that type of
Exactly.
person, and that's what I think. Out of all the Superman movies I've ever seen, this is the one that portrayed him most as a human being. You know, his human side. And remember,
100%.
this is
100%.
3 years into this universe. We don't know what happens 5 years in, 10 years in. We don't know what James Gunn is taking this universe, right? Maybe 10 years
Exactly.
down the line, we have a universe where Lois Lane gets killed, which happens in the comics, right? And then he goes fucking AWOL and goes crazy and kills everyone. And now we got a dark side of him or whatnot. You know, we don't know where this Superman's going to take up, but this is our first introduction to him, and I think it's the best introduction to him as a human being, man. The hero that we want, the hero that I wish the Palestinians had right now, man. Like that's what is needed in the world, and that's what we got in this movie. I believe, man. It was awesome. I
100%.
loved it.
100%. 100%. 100%.
Man, all right, guys, we went in, and I wanted to go in. I wanted to go in and just give my thoughts about all of that geopolitical side of things and whatnot. Let's go into Easter eggs and stuff, man. There's so much that I finish up, man, because there's so much we can talk about. All right, guys, look, I'm gonna get these Easter eggs off. Again, the web internet has done its job because I don't have to, and you got experts that go in and watch frame by frame. I got this from Movie Web. I think Screen Rant had 100, so I don't have time to go through 100. So let's just go through the 10 that I got from Movie Web. So first of all, number 10. They put there Lex Luthor Corp references Smallville. So it is Lex Luthor's company where crazy ideas are born, ideas that tend to be fueled. Doesn't matter the post. Where is it? However, James Gunn's feel the brand name Lex Luthor Corp sticks out boldly. Such wording was first seen in the CW series Smallville. So that was taken from there, which is pretty kind of cool, or references that, which is kind of cool. Number 9, Superman burrows underground as a reference from the 1978 film. So if you remember in the 1978 film, original one with Christopher Reeves, there's a reference to the 1978 movie where Superman burrows underground in the streets to reach Luthor Corp. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So that was a pretty cool reference.
I don't think that's like Easter egg though. That's just like a normal
Well, I mean, it could be a
superhero thing, to be honest.
Maybe, but it's like a little thing from the 1978 one, you know what I mean? All right, number 8, the most trusted journalist in America. So what's this one? This one is during Clark's 12-minute interview scene with Lois Lane, he references to her as Cronkite at one point. He is linking her to Walter Cronkite, a broadcast journalist who served as an anchorman in the CBS Evening News of 1962 to 1981. Cronkite was labeled the most trusted man in America and received numerous honors, including the Emmy Award for Presidential Medal of Freedom. I don't know who Cronkite is, to be honest with you. To say he's the most trusted journalist, I want to say this. Based on James Gunn, based on this movie, I want to trust that James Gunn picked someone who is actually a trusted journalist and done true investigative journalism and not a propaganda Zionist journalism. That's what I want to think. I believe. I haven't researched on Walter Cronkite, so I have no idea. Just based on this, James Gunn, based on this, I want to believe that is the case, but I have no idea. Anyway, reference there. Number 7, classic DC beverage and fast food place. So Jitters Coffee. The previous DC exclusive beverage and fast food joint appears in Superman. There's a can of Zesist cola in Luthor Corp's command center and a billboard of soft drink brand and the side of the building during the kaiju fight. Okay, it's just a reference to, I don't know. I think it must be in the comics and stuff like that, which is cool. I think it's saying here that it's been referenced in. Oh, okay. So Zest Cola was in Detective Comics 645. Tim Drake and Dick Grayson's favorite drink. Coker's, on the other hand, appeared in Justice League International 8 and Martian Manhunter's favorite snack. And if you rewatch the Flash television series, you'll spot Jitters several times. The Big Belly is owned by LexCorp on the DC pages. Okay, so it's reference to the DC comics and all that sort of stuff. Galaxy Broadcasting System. So many Hollywood productions have used real-world news networks like CNN and BBC for scenes about broadcasting of major developments. But DC movies and shows have the Galaxy Broadcasting System. Christopher Reeve's son. So this I heard about. Christopher Reeve's son, Will Reeves, makes a cameo as a GBS reporter, narrating the events of the kaiju in Metropolis and the arrival of the Justice Gang. CNN anchor Jake Tapper appears too as the GBS anchor named Jake Tapper, who was previously featured in Creature Commandos. So that was a cool reference, actually. I heard about Christopher Reeve's son being there. I didn't pay attention in the first time I saw it. So, but that's pretty cool, man, that he had a little cameo in this. And yeah, respect. You met him as well, right? You met the kid, his kids, right?
Yeah. He's a nice guy, man. Very cool. Yeah, no, good little scene that he got there. I thought he would have got like a face-to-face scene with David, which would have been interesting. But
that would have been nice.
Yeah, no, good on him, man. Like, you know, he's cool doing the news anchoring stuff. I did see an interview with him and David, which was really good. But yeah, no, man, nice guy, man. Nice guy.
Definitely. I mean, this report, like real quick, Christopher Reeve's son plays a reporter in a line where his real world professional, in line with his real world professional, yeah, because he's a real world journalist, I believe, or reporter. Anyway, it's a great nod to the man, considering the greatest Superman actor of all time, Christopher Reeves, his father, which is definitely true, I would say. Superman has always been an emblem of journalism, and it's terrific that Reeves' son chose to pursue this specific career. So that's probably why, he was just being a reporter in this rather than someone else, because it's truly who he is. This history of GBS dates back to the Bronze Age issues, Superman Pals, Jimmy Olsen 133, where the network was revealed as the Daily Planet's partner or parent company during the Bronze Age. Clark Kent served as a TV reporter for GPS in 1970 to 1986. So that's pretty cool. Geography of Metropolis. So one scene, Lex hands the Bavarian president a donut from Park Ridge. This is a neighborhood in Metropolis. Lois says she's from Brookline, a popular borough in the city, established in the comic books, and according to Miss Lane's license plate, this version of Metropolis is in the state of Delaware. A fact initially suggests that Amazing World DC Comics 14 and repeat in the Atlas of the DC universe. There are a few things to note that the geography information provided in Superman on DC's color page, Brookline was the home of Jimmy Olsen, not Lois Lane. It's also clear that the numerous creatives' mind, DC often fail to agree on which state Metropolis should be. For example, Metropolis is located in Kansas. In the TV show, Smallville, the same state as Clark Kent's hometown, Smallville, other comics have placed it in the state of New York. I did see James Gunn on a podcast recently talk about he actually based it on Cleveland, which is where the original, is it Cleveland, where the original creators were from? Yeah. So, and he said there's a specific building that he said that the original creators, I can't remember who it was specifically, would visualize Superman jumping over, because at the time Superman didn't fly in their vision, right? And he put that building specifically in this movie. I think he said that this Metropolis was shot in Cleveland. I believe he said that.
Yeah,
in this
that's
podcast.
right. Yeah.
So if Metropolis should be based on any city, I guess Cleveland makes sense, which is where the guys were from. All right,
100%.
Number 4. Belly Rave Correctional Facility. At the end of the movie, Luthor and a few of his buddies are all cuffed, and those trapped in the Pocket universe are freed. We learn that the villain will serve time at Belly Rave, the same correctional facilities run by Amanda Wallace and ARGUS. Can can April count on new friends at the facilities to help her set things right? So, what else? This is first seen in Suicide Squad 1 in the 1980s. Prison appeared in 2 James Gunn's other DC productions, which is Suicide Squad and Creature of Commandos. Luthor, given Luthor's comic residence, he's likely to appear in the upcoming Wallace TV series, which, true, that might be interesting. He'll be in that. Yeah, so that's cool. All right, this is a cool one. Number 3, Batman lore. Let's see what this is about. So the evacuation sequence is highly entertaining with a jarring emphasis on jump cuts, alternate narratives, and numerous dazzling crane shots. As everything is happening, an interstate sign referencing Gotham City appears, where a picture of Catwoman's enemy, Mr. Handsome, appears on Lex Luthor's desk during the confrontation with Superman. Later, the character is seen residing in the Pocket Universe, where he helps transport prisoners via Tony cargo ship. Okay, interesting. Gunn's version of Mr. Handsome, I don't even know who that was, girls, is very different from the one from the comics who I use. How the character ended up serving Luthor is a mystery, since he is normally a crime lord in Gotham. He commands the Model Army, a large group of lackeys who use handsome men's masks. But as the interstate sign shows, Gotham isn't too far away. Mr. Handsome might now be on his way there to set up his criminal empire after being released from the Pocket Universe, unless he was imprisoned with Luthor as well. So that's interesting. The movie doesn't make it clear, but we know that Batman might show up anytime, which obviously we saw, and we also saw in Crimson. What's the cartoon? The Monster of Commandos, Monster cartoon, whatever. We saw the silhouette of Batman show up, so we know, it was an animation, but we know Batman is going to show up soon. All right, number two. Lois Lane's purple top. What is this about? Lois Lane seen wearing a purple top. Superman's last act, the final version of a visual reference of the famous version of the character from Superman, the animated series. In Lois Lane rarely wears any other color. All right, cool. All right, cool. Let's move on to the last one, which was Makovia. Lex Luthor's girlfriend is in Superman. Lex Luthor's girlfriend in Superman is Eve Tesma, whatever. Over time, the partnership ends up having her profound repercussions, both professionally and personal, when she begins the experience of crushing oppression of dating such a psycho. She turns into him. Initially, Eva seems to be typically trophy girlfriend who does nothing but take selfies on the day, but all her pictures contain incrimination information about Luthor in the background. So I am not familiar with it, but I think she's shown up in like other shows, like in the Arrowverse and Black Lightning and stuff like that. So anyway, look, those are the ones.
She was in the original Superman.
And okay, all right. So those are the one from Movie Web. I'm pretty sure there's more like other ones. Was there anything else like anything else?
No, nothing that not from my head right now. I can't go grab something.
All right, cool. I'm pretty sure there was loads of more. I would love.
There's loads more. There's hundreds of more. I think. There's
Screen Rant's got 100.
If they've got 100, bro, there's bloody hell. There's so much in there, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm just happy with what I saw, bro. I'm not even looking for Easter egg. Yeah, go on.
I'm pretty sure in that Pocket verse, because there was so many different prisoners, there was probably some, and so I'm sure Screen Rant went in and searched it. I mean, I wish I had time. I'll go through 100 of them, but I don't have time. And also, I can't read, man, so I don't want to read 100 freaking things. So anyway, those were some of the Easter eggs I took from web. What do you call it? Movie Web. Go check out the internet for more. All right, cool. Let's finish off with quickly critiques and final thoughts. And when I say critiques, let's finish what I want to just kind of finish off with, like just my thoughts on what kind of had me, and then we'll finish off with final thoughts and everything, which you kind of gathered our thoughts anyway of the movie. But for me, all right, here's my thoughts. When I came out, I was like, I loved it, but something that I felt that was kind of like they could have added or missed, or what I felt basically. I don't know if you're gonna understand this reference, but I felt like there's a difference between Superman and Man of Steel. And in this movie, he was Superman, but he didn't own any scene to be the Man of Steel. And what I mean by that, right? I don't think in any scene at all, he owned the room. He owned it. Like, I am the Man of Steel. Like, this is the way. Like, he was it, like he always needed someone else's help. He kind of lost his temper with Lex. Lois was always there to kind of support him, or someone else was there to support him. Like, I just didn't feel like he had the presence of Man of Steel. Does that make sense? Does that refer? He is the Man of Steel. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just talking about his presence.
I think they brought him down a level in this because he's a character that's so big, so powerful. You know, they had to humanize him a lot more. And in the comic books, he's always been humanized, but nobody really gets that, the human side of it. Like, you know, there's things that he's done where he doesn't even have to use his superpowers, just compassion, you know? So how are you going to make this more relatable to everybody else? And James Gunn did that. He's human. He is a human. At the end of the day, you know, like Rocky said it, you know, you live in a place long enough, it becomes you. You know, he was here, raised on Earth. He's human, man. He's just got these abilities. He's still human. He suffers mental health like all of us lot. He goes through a lot of stuff. He doesn't show his full potential. You guys must know that from the comic books right now. He never goes full force. If he goes full force, he becomes villain. He becomes a villain. He always holds back.
You mentioned that actually on this same podcast. I gotta figure out which one it was. James Gunn mentions actually. He says that. He said that because listen, Superman could get boring because he's just too powerful. So you had to kind of bring him down a little bit because it makes him a bit more interesting, makes him a bit more vulnerable. When he's just too powerful, then it's just like, well, there's nothing that can stop him. So, yeah, it's a good point. Okay, it's a good point. I get it, man. Listen, I'm just kind of just saying that. It was just my opinion. Like, I just didn't.
Alone in the room, man. Alone in the room.
I think yes, in the future, like be it he's, I don't know, the leader of the Justice League or something, he'll have his moment where he owns the room. I feel like that. Look, his personality, like this is not a critique. I was just like, oh, this is an interesting personality on Superman. I was like, oh, I've never seen him just kind of like as Superman, a little bit goofy, like in the sense that, you know, some of the dialogue he says and whatnot. I've never seen that as Superman. It's not a critique, but I was kind of thrown off. It kind of relates to that Man of Steel versus Superman reference I'm trying to make, even though maybe that reference don't make sense. I was like, oh, interesting. Like you know, when he was dancing, like not dancing, like when the dog was kind of when Crypto was kind of jumping around him and all that sort of stuff. He was very like as Superman, a little bit goofy, almost Clark Kent-ish to me as Superman, and I was like, this is interesting. I'm not saying I hated it. I just felt like, oh, it's a little bit interesting. It just kind of relates to my thoughts on, I just don't think he had that powerful presence of Superman. But one, we might get that in the future. And two, as you said, and as James Gunn said, we need to kind of bring him down a little bit to make him a bit more interesting. We need to see him get bust up mentally and physically to make him a bit interesting. Otherwise, the movie's over in 2 seconds because he just laser beams everyone, Lex Luthor, everyone say, all right, guys, I saved the day. Good night. So it makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The other thing
down, man.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. The other thing that kind of a little bit threw me off when we spoke about it a bit was his parents' message to destroy Earth. I was like, oh shit! Like again, I was waiting for the whole movie to be like, all right, well, can you confirm that Lex, you know, like he made that up? And I don't think, and it didn't. And you kind of finish the movie, we're like, what the fuck? Like, I've never seen that before. Now, of course, in different universe and comics you mentioned before, that's a thing. I was just really thrown off by that. And I'm not going to lie, I was sitting there anticipating the whole movie to be like, all right, confirmed. Lex Luthor made a Ford AI video about it. It's fake. His parents actually did say that because it's a different take on his parents, man. So, you know, I was a little bit thrown off by it. Not that it was a critique or whatnot. It was the first time I've actually been thrown off by his parents. So that was an interesting take.
It's happened plenty of times in the comic books, man. And I think it's a nice take. It's a nice risk that James took on that one. And, you know, it focuses on what he was raised up with the Kents. So Very good decision, I think. Very good decision. Because we've seen it so many times. I'm glad we didn't get an origin story. We didn't get much about Krypton. We just thrown into a story with Superman where he's still learning. He's still at the beginning part of his stage. Remember, he's only 3 years into letting the world know that Superman is here. You know what I mean? Plus, Metropolis is like used to all the madness going on at the moment. So, yeah, no, interesting take, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, look, my last thoughts was about the Kents, but I think like again, it's not. It was a critique at the beginning, but as we spoke, I think like it kind of changed. Actually, I think it's just genius. Like my thoughts on the Kents was again, this is the first time I don't think the Kents got enough screen time or enough impact or whatnot on his parenting. But I think what you just said is like there's two things, right? One, it like he went against his alien birth parents and it showed how impactful his real parents were, which is why after hearing that message he was like, no, like I'm not gonna do that at all. So it actually did show the impact of his parents. And then that end scene, as we spoke about earlier, where he's like, when he was laying there and smiling, he goes, let me see the pictures, let me see my pictures, it soothes my parents, it soothes me. And it was his it was the Kents, and they were just showing him. That was beautiful again. So like initially I was thinking, oh, the Kents, man, and their accent and all that sort of stuff, they were a bit goofy and whatnot. But again, I think through the storytelling, James Gunn just got this great way of just kind of linking it to his birth parents and going against what they're saying. And also that end scene where you're like, man, actually, okay, I get it. You could see the impact of the Kents and whatnot. Perfect. Again, it was good. It was one of my thoughts. And then now, after speaking to you and going through this podcast and kind of talking to you about it, I'm like, actually, they were very impactful. They didn't need to be on the screen or get a 20, 30-minute screen time to show how impactful they were. This is how genius. This is how I'm of a fanboy I am of James. He didn't need to waste 30 minutes of showing us his upbringing and whatnot with the Kents to show how impactful they were. These little scenes, especially that end scene, shows how impactful they were as parents. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
100%. He's always had a good thing about that, and he's really been good with the way he represents characters as well. So we didn't need, as you said, like a big backstory on them. It is what it is. He loves his parents, and his parents love him as well. They made the dad all mushy, and the mum's kind of the strong figure, which is great. And you give some impactful quotes like the choices you make is that's almost like he gave a Batman Begins there. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. He did that with Clark's dad. So it's like, that's what I want, man. You want impactful things like that.
All right, cool. But from your side, and again, when I say critiques, not anything like negative, this was shit, but just like any thoughts. So you're like, oh, could have added this, or this threw me off, or whatever. Anything from your side that you came out thinking? Because you said it's not a perfect movie. Why don't you explain why?
No,
you
it's
think
not,
because
there's plot holes, and the Lex's there's too many subplots. You had Lex, trying to take over this land so he can build his own thing. Like, it still had the element of what all the other movies had. They're always trying to steal land. What is it with Lex and land, bro? They did it in Superman Returns where he builds his kryptonite land. Like, what is it with land that Lex is obsessed with? I know in the comic books he had that, but there's far more stuff like the animations brought out as well. I just felt like I didn't understand why he wants to. What is it with land? Anyway, colonizing bastard. What else was there?
Not going on.
Too many subplots. I think too many subplots. Too many
Yeah.
subplots. Yeah,
There's
that's
definitely a
the
lot
only
going on
critique
in
I
this
had.
movie.
Like, you've got the Justice Gang you want to know more of, because the fair is you got all of these characters in there, and they evenly get their shine. But you want more. You want more information. You know what I mean? So the whole of Justice, like I wanted to see more of it. It didn't feel like a 2-hour movie though, because it was thrown into the action. So that's a good thing. Not really a critique. To be honest, no, man. I had a good time, bro. Like I think I'm fed up of not fed up. I'm like, there was superhero fatigue. Like some of the movies that came out or TV shows that came out, just like I didn't care, bro. But this made me care. Whether it was the soundtrack, the visuals, the music, like it's like it plays a part, man. So nothing heavy to critique, bro. I thought it was a good movie, man. I had a fun
Yeah.
time with
Okay.
it, and I still have a fun time. I'm gonna go watch it again.
I
So
do
I'm
want to
looking
watch it
forward to
again.
it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to. I mean, yeah, no, I think like again, yeah, no critiques. I think like no, I mean, apart from what I mentioned earlier on, but just like my
Yeah,
thoughts and whatnot, I do think like it just there was a lot going on. It was very fast paced. But I think like it just got on with the story. That's why I didn't really pick up on. Didn't think that it bothered me the fast paced stuff. It just went on.
yeah.
To me, it was like cool. Let's just carry on. There's no need to waste too much. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well, the final thoughts, man. I mean, look, I think you kind of gathered our thoughts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Watch it. I loved it. I can't wait to watch it again. I love the soundtrack. It brings a smile to my face. It brought a lot of smiles to my face. But a lot of emotions. I saw Brendan Roof's emotion saying that a review. He said he cried like 3 times during it and whatnot. Like so much joy, happiness, joy. The Man of Steel, Superman, brilliant. Oh man, with the wait, man, I can't believe we waited for so long when it was announced, and then it's finally here. And for the fact that it just puts a smile on my face, that we could sit here, do a review about it, get emotional, about it, get deep about it, get geopolitical about it. I wish we didn't have to get geopolitical about it. Actually, to be honest with you, I wish that wasn't happening.
Yeah, same here,
But
same here.
but the
I
fact
wish
that
they could have kept that separate, but I
yeah,
suppose that's the touchy part to it, that a lot of us are gonna resonate to it. And that's where I feel like,
well,
it was
James
used
is.
against us.
Well, listen, man, James is, I think his father or something, he said he was Irish or whatnot. The
Yeah.
Irish, man, if there's any big supporters in the world towards the Palestinian people, that's the Irish. So, again, I think James is just a smart individual who used his platform. I'm just surprised the studios allowed him to do it. But maybe there's a shift in the world. Maybe, you never know. Man, such a great movie. I can't wait to watch it again. Honestly, I really can't wait. It's been a long time. Okay, wait, Deadpool Wolverine, to be honest, I watched multiple times because that was so much fun. This one brought me that same sort of joy of like, oh my God, I can't wait to watch it again. The rewatchability of this movie is 100% there, and I can't wait to watch it again. And I can't wait to watch Peacemaker now, to be honest with you. I can't wait
Yeah,
to
because
watch
it's gonna be off the
future.
back of Superman, so it'll be interesting
Exactly.
to see what they do.
And I can't wait to watch the future DC universe. Like, listen, man, this is the start of the DC, well, second thing of the DC universe, or third maybe, but I'm in. He done it, man. He done it. Like he captured me. I'm in. I mean, I was already in anyway, but I'm in. I'm invested in the DC universe. I'm invested in this. I'm invested in everything that they do. So much fun, man. So much fun. When you finish off,
100%,
man, with your
100%.
thoughts and take us out, brother.
Yeah, no, listen, man. A movie that can give off that much positivity, like I like social media recently has been just full of positivity, which is amazing. But it has its hardships that come along with it as well, and being an outsider as well. I think this clearly shows being an outsider and how much he cares, and he just wants to be part of the human race, and I love that about him. I love that about the character. That's why it's always represented that this guy's coming from another planet. I mean, this is based on Solomon, Moses' story, and there's another big story biblical story that's connected to it. But this is an immigrant story. It'll always be an immigrant story. It's not woke. People making up shit because he saves people. Something wrong with you. But I absolutely love the movie. As much as I love Man of Steel, like this movie just represents something else. It's another creative take on this character, which I absolutely love. And listen, man, I'm a big fan of comic books, and I've read Elseworld stories, and I love Elseworld stories as well. The way I see this is like, we got Chris Reeves, Superman, we got Henry Cavill, Brendan Roof. We've had different stories. It's great to see the character shine this much right now. And the man I love is getting as well. It's something that this character has deserved for a very long time. So good on him. Good on the movie. Shout out to James. As always, guys, massive thank you for checking out the podcast. Make sure you're following us on our social journeys. We've got some really cool content out at the moment now. We've got loads of things, as always, happening in the background. I know it's a bit of a slowdown at the moment, but enjoy some of the behind-the-scenes interviews that we're posting on our page as well. I know that's doing really good as well, but we're losing, man. We'll get back to some more clips and stuff very soon, guys. We're gonna get some more episodes out. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this breakdown of Superman movie review. We'll catch you guys up soon.
Peace.
Peace.